Woo! Woo! The long-awaited "What is this bike?" video. I've been trying to film this for like 3 or 4 videos, but every single time I'm riding and I try to stop to talk about it, just something happens. So let's do a build breakdown as to what this is and what's going on with it. Alright, to start off, this is a 2021 Sur-Ron Black Edition, which back in 2021, that was like the only option. It was just black frame. However, now obviously there's plenty of custom colors and stuff, which is cool. Anyway, let's start at the front and we'll work our way back. So up front, I have Supermoto rims and tires. These are custom painted. This is just a spray paint that I did myself. I have a 220 Magura front rotor and Magura MT5 brakes. Going up, I have the Fisher Fab House front LED light, super bright, awesome. Then I have a prickly spacer with the prickly Fisher Fab House light mount for that. Then I have some RSX 318 bar mounts, some direct mounts. I have the 80 3-inch riser bars. I have obviously Magura MT5, the same levers that came with the brake. Then of course I'm running the Oso Perfecto Pro Taper pillow top grips, and I have an egg rider, but we'll talk about that later. Then moving back to the main compartment, I am running a BAC 4000 stock skid plate. I just painted it the same time I did my rims. And then I have the 72 volt battery from Chai. This is the 72 volt 38 amp hour compact battery, which is probably one of the most crazy mods that you can do to a Sur-Ron. If you guys know, you know. The 72 volt life is just crazy. Beyond that, I have the custom Thrill Seekers seat cover. Can't say enough good stuff about that. These ribs you really feel a crazy grip. This is just a normal plastic rear fender. Same with this little mud flap that I just found on Amazon because I broke my old ones. Oh well. Moving down, we have the Warp 9 peg, and we have the probably one of the most important mods on Sur-Rons, which is the peg brace. Beyond that, in the back, we have prickly axle blocks, which again, if you're changing between tires, I can't recommend this enough. This is a super awesome mod, so definitely go check out Prickly. But we have the rear axle block from them. Then I am running obviously the MT5s, which I'll talk about a little later. Then over here, we are running a 58 tooth rear sprocket with the corresponding chain, and that is pretty much a really quick glimpse as to what's going on with this bike. However, let's talk about part of the situation with this bike. Back in 2021, when I first got this bike, these were some of the better options for this bike. However, times have changed and new companies have developed newer stuff that might be a little bit better suited for this. When it comes to the MT5 brakes, these are mountain bike brakes. There are companies out there now that definitely offer better brake setups that are actually meant for e-bikes, so I'd highly recommend looking into some of the better option brakes nowadays, because they're roughly the same price as what these are, but they're more meant for e-bikes, specifically Surrons, Talarias, and all that stuff. So if I were to do this bike again, this is probably what I would do. The 220 in the front makes sense. I like that. However, I would change the MT5s out, and I would definitely either get TRPs or I'd get Lewis Tech. At the time of this recording, I currently have a set of Lewis Tech brakes on order, if that means anything. Coming up to the headlight, this was something that you can take headlights like whatever way you want. Obviously, do what you want, but the headlight, the same. For the bars, I'd keep the bars the same. I really like them. I like the riser. I'm a little shorter, so having the riser bars makes me be able to sit a little bit more upright, which is really comfortable. Obviously, pillow tops, you gotta keep those. However, this is where things might get a little controversial. If I were to build this bike today, I don't think that I would get a BAC 4000. I genuinely would recommend looking into either the EBMX X9000 or looking into the Torque controllers. Those are both really meant and set up for Sur-Ron, and the amount of time and technology that have gone into those two controllers, I would say tunability wise and smoothness of the tune, they've definitely worked on it a lot, and would say that those would probably outdo the BAC 4000. I've also heard people having a lot of issues with BAC 4000s. Luckily, I haven't had any personal issues with it yet. I say yet, hopefully never, but at this time I haven't had any issues with it. However, if I were to build this bike today, I would probably go with either the Torp or the EBMX X9000. Moving back, still have a stock motor, so nothing really to say about that. Pegs, I would say, are definitely one of your necessary mods on these Sur-Rons, but I would definitely keep the ones I have. I like the Warp 9 ones. However, honestly, pegs are pegs. They're all about the same. As long as they give you grip and traction, that's what's up. Peg brace, obviously, like I said before, one of the most important mods you can possibly do with Surron, so I wouldn't change a single thing about that. The Chai battery, I would say that they make a really, really good battery. The battery stuff, I think it's more about the tune and less about the battery, because I've seen guys that are running 60 volt Chai batteries or 60 volt stock batteries, but just an aftermarket controller, and the controller is really what makes the difference. Obviously, when you get to a 72 volt, things get crazy, and that's awesome. However, what 72 volt battery you get, as long as you're not buying like some really cheap knockoff brand stuff that's gonna light on fire, I would say you're gonna be good with EBMX batteries, Chai batteries. Everything else I would take a little bit of a deeper look into before purchasing, because those are, in my brain, the two best brands to work with right now when it comes to batteries. Seat cover, Thrill Seekers or Guts, either one, really, really good companies to work with, really good seat covers in general. Moving back, again, same thing with the brakes. I would probably change out the brakes. I'm working on changing out the brakes. The prickly axle blocks, like I said before, absolute game changer, awesome, love those. Chains, sprockets, everything like that, really nothing bad to say about any of that. That's all worked really good for me. So with that being said, what are my future plans for mods on this bike? First mod, Lewis Tech brakes. When we're doing Lewis Tech brakes, I'm definitely going to go upgrade to a 220 mil rear rotor, so it's the same as my front. With that being said, you have to get a different spacer bracket to make it fit in the rear, and again, prickly, coming and collect, I got it figured out. Moving to the peg brace slash peg brackets. These peg brackets are made out of cast, so I don't know if you guys can really see, but I'll put a little closer image here, but mine is already cracked right here, and you can see the stress fractures right here. So these cast pieces are really, really, really weak, and sometimes this peg brace can help you, and other times it is what it is. So since these are about to break, I will be upgrading to the prickly CNC'd aluminum bracket. So it comes with this side, that side, and the peg brace all as one solid unit, which is way stronger, and it looks really, really good. So I'll definitely be upgrading to that, and right above that will be my next upgrade, which is my primary belt drive. I will definitely be upgrading to the new primary chain drive from Warp 9. They just made a really, really good chain drive that is a lot quieter than it used to be, because that was the big downside of the chain drive, is it would get really noisy. However, they just put some rubber grommets and stuff in them, and so now the noise of the chain drive is significantly reduced, which is nice. The next mod that I definitely need to change out, especially because I'm thinking about swapping to a 2119 dirt tire, is I currently am running a stock suspension triangle and stock linkage. So again, Prickly Motorsport making some really, really good stuff. Definitely gonna upgrade the suspension triangle and the suspension linkage so that I can jump stuff a little bit more willingly and not not feel like I'm just gonna blow these out, because these are, again, the same material as your brackets, and these are cast and just kind of weak over time. So keep that in mind if you're doing a lot of dirt slash a lot of jumping. These are notoriously weak items. Other than that, I would say that the current setup of this bike is awesome. The only thing that I may or may not add is a front fender, just because sometimes when I'm riding in like loose dirt or something, I just get a lot of sand and stuff in my eyes, which kind of sucks. But other than that, I love this bike setup. It's so much fun to ride. In the future, definitely been looking at running a 2119 dirt setup to get into a little bit more off-road and emoto tracks. So I might get a different set of rims and tires sometime, just to be able to ride more dirt, a little bit more dirt-friendly setup, because obviously street tires, you just slide around. With that being said, I'm not going to say that this is the perfect Surron setup, because by no means is it. I'm sure that you could spend a lot more money, or maybe even a little bit less money. And obviously, like I said, this was me building this bike back in 2021. Right now, obviously, things have changed. However, in another year from now, 2 years from now, maybe in another week from now, something could change, that, you know, a better part or something comes out. And by no means are the parts that I have or the parts that I ordered the best parts, but they're the ones that I found the best for my current situation. So I wouldn't say that you should immediately go out and spend a shit ton of money on aftermarket parts, because, you know, just ride the bike how you have it, enjoy it, and then, you know, build it as you go. But this is kind of what I'm running right now. Things obviously will change probably. But for a quick little introductory mod list, this is what I got going. So hope you guys found this helpful. If you guys have any questions, drop it down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to check them out and answer accordingly. So until next time, peace.